Hi everyone. So let us discuss about my D.E.Shaw interview experience, which was happened in the last January. So the role which I was offered was front office tech associate intern, and you can probably expect the same type of questions for these roles also, like QAT, QTE. And so there are total of 3 rounds. So there are 2 technical and 1 HR. So 1 HR was also based on like it was about technical, like more related to technical, how you solve an aptitude question. So it is mainly related to your logics, how you apply in small situations, like situational questions, like something about your job description and all that. So let us go like round wise, so that you'll understand what are the type of questions they are about to ask in your next interview. So the programming, first of all, have an understanding about a language you choose. If you choose any of these 3 languages, it doesn't matter. Or if you know JavaScript or some other language, you can use that also in your interview round. That doesn't matter at all. So choose a language which you are perfect in, and make sure that you present your solution in a better way. So first thing, the round one was basically the first question. However, everyone will ask about is about introduce yourself. So first of all, please be clear about your background, projects, hackathons, and coding profiles. Please discuss these type in a very clear manner. Like if you have some hackathons you participated, and you may be a runner-up, you may be a winner, and describe those hackathons. Like there may be a national-wide hackathons or a college-wide hackathons or some other hackathons. Be clear about describing those hackathons and your projects. This comes the main thing. So describe the projects in such a way that it covers the entire technology stack, tech stack you used. Like if you have developed a blog website, describe about React.js, what you have used in that, whether you have used Axios or Fetch, whether you used Redux or not. Like if you use a backend, like you have a static backends and dynamic backends, right? You have to write the separate code for backend. Like you're having a server, like an OJS server running up. Like how you handle the authentication part, like using JWT or Passport.js or like that, or you have used any third-party authentication services like KindeAuth or Auth 2.0, and such type of technologies you used, like what you used for your backend database, whether you used a NoSQL database like MongoDB, or like a structured database like a MySQL or Supabase, like that type of database. So I think you understand about this. Discuss about them. So coming to coding profiles, like how many questions did you solve? Like around 300 questions in Geeks for Geeks, or 200 or 500 or 800 questions in Lead Code, and what is your code chef rating? What is your code forces rating? Describe all that there. So coming to the first question which I was trimestering. This was basic question, so you need not do such a high range of DSA to solve these type of questions, because it is not an SD role. So they are not recruiting you for a development role. Like you won't be working on technologies. Like your main task is to run the company operations. That's it, right? So the first question is trimestering. So the basically they didn't mention that just trimestering you have spaces and all that, but the little bit they manipulated a question, like instead of spaces you have underscores. So what you would do? So basically this is a string they given, and they said that you can convert this string to this way. So what you can simply in Python, you can strip and split it. So strip, however, removes all the front and back spaces which we have mentioned, but here the delimiter is underscore, right? So it will remove all that, and you'll split based on this, and you'll filter and you'll add them. And in Java, if you know pretty Java, then I say that you can use Java, because they have high weightage for Java. And C++ is the least preferred, because anyone won't use C++ in their development. It is mostly related to how you solve problems in a fast way. And the third question comes, linked list reversal. So they said that you won't have a linked list itself. They won't give a linked list, and they won't ask like a direct question, reverse a linked list. So they ask like create a linked list of your own. That means you have to create your node, and you have to create your linked list, and you have to reverse the linked list. So that means like directly solving a lead code question doesn't help you here. So you need to know how you can construct the linked list basically. So how you declare a next variable, how you declare a data variable, and how you construct the linked list from the scratch. So this is main skill you need here. So you need to be perfect in what you do. So linked list reversal, like in lead code you'll have direct reversal code, and you'll manage how to reverse a code like using previous, current, and forward pointers. But in this situation you need to have an understanding how you can create a list, how you can create a linked list, how you can delete, how you can add, how you can reverse them. So I'll attach this document in my description, so don't worry. So in Java you can do like this, and in C++ the same solution. So like the fourth question comes under what happens when you boot a PC. So that means basically like when you switch on your computer, what happens. So this is a basic question. Like nowadays everyone is asking the same question in an interview. You may find it in Geeks for Geeks, search it, Google it, and maybe you can find a more better answer than this. So what happens, the power supply starts, the power on self start is performed, and BIOS is loaded. So bootloader is executed, operating system kernel is loaded, system process and services are started, like your background services, daemon process and all that, and your user interface is displayed where you can enter your password to login. That's it. So difference between delete and truncate. So this is, I think you have heard this question many times. Like they ask, obviously they ask these types of questions if you mention something like databases in your resume. So like delete and truncate. So what does delete do? Removes one by one, logging each row deletion can have where clause. Like delete is nothing but you basically mention a condition, and based on the condition matches you'll delete the rows. What about truncate? It means that you delete all the rows but the structure remains the same. Understand? Okay. Right. Difference between HTTPS and HTTP. This is also a basic question which will be asked in almost every interview. So HTTP is nothing but you will transfer the data like on a plain text. Like HTTP is nothing but it acts a security layer on top of it, like SSR or TLS. And compare and contrast merge and insertion sort. How to improve merge sort using insertion sort. So I think you have heard the question that write a logic for merge sort, or tell me the time complexity of insertion sort. So that doesn't matter here. So you need to say what is the difference between the merge sort and insertion sort. Basically what you said, merge is a divide and conquer algorithm, whereas insertion sort is just an iterative process. And coming to merge sort, it has a time complexity of order of n log n, whereas insertion sort, its time complexity is order of n square, right? So now how you can improve merge sort using insertion sort? Did you ever come about this question, right? No, right? So this is what they ask in interview. So basically merge sort is the best algorithm for sorting. So you'll have an n log n of time complexity, but insertion sort of n square. But did you ever thought that insertion sort is faster on smaller size of arrays when compared to merge sort? Because like consider if an insertion sort, if the array is sorted, then what is the time complexity of sorting an array in that manner? That means you need not iterate, it's just order of n. That's it, right? If you have a smaller size of array, the insertion sort, and the array is sorted, then what will be a time complexity? It is order of n. But in case of merge sort, it was order of n log n. So this remains the same. But if you use the insertion sort when it compares to smaller size of arrays, then in that case you'll get the better time complexity. Like you'll get the minimal time complexity. That means the best time complexity. You can improve that the working of the algorithm in a better way. So in that way you can explain like how you can improve the merge sort time complexity using insertion sort. So this is what they expect from it. They don't expect you to write the entire code. They just want you to know that you can improve X issue using the Y method. So that's what they expect from you. So this was all about round 1. So let us discuss about what was asked in round 2. And coming to the second round, so the first question was write a linked list from scratch. That means you need to implement the entire node, and you have to write methods for like adding a linked list node, adding at a particular location, removing node from the last, how to reduce insertion time. So how you'll reduce the insertion time? Just adding a other variable called tail. We'll have two variables, head and tail. So in that way you can insert you can decrease the insertion time from order of n to order of 1. You can directly increment, like you can directly point the tail to the current one, and you can move the tail pointer. So removing node from a particular position. So that was all the basic implementation of linked list from the scratch. So you can follow this code. I'll attach it in the description. And coming to second, so what is a deadlock is another question, but how you create a deadlock is a new question, right? So how you'll create a deadlock? So let us see. So explanation, you can give that using threads and synchronization to create a deadlock scenario. So for this case, you basically, what language do you need? Java, right? So you have to know Java to solve these type of questions in the interview. So my suggestion is basically it is better to use Java for oops and like for deadlock scenarios and all that. So basically be good at Java during the interview. So types of deadlocks you can have: circular wait, hold and wait, no preemption, mutual exclusion, and all that. You can mention each and every like a subheading in an elaborative way. So like they asked also the question related: rate yourself in Linux and Git. So I said that I was a Linux user, so I use Ubuntu on a daily basis, and on the Git I was on a basic level. Like they said to rate me on 5, so I scaled. So I rated myself around 2. So they asked me a question like difference between Git and GitHub. So what is Git? It is a version control system, right? Source code. What is GitHub? It is a SEM, a source code management system, platform for hosting Git repositories. So what is the difference between find and locate? So this is also a basic question they'll ask if you say that you know Linux very well. So like find searches for files in the directory hierarchy, and locate searches for the file by name using a database. And finding a particular word like using an AWK or grep, you can Google this and you can find out more about that. And creating a double linked list and reverse it using recursive and iterative. So everyone, like, you'll be perfect in reversing a linked list or doubly linked list in an iterative manner, but make sure that you be perfect on recursive side also, like, because they are expecting from you. Like iterative is it's a basic solution, like you can learn it in 2-3 minutes, that's it. But recursive is a different approach, so you need to understand it better to explain it better. So create a doubly linked list. So it is also from scratch. They said to implement add node, remove node, reverse a node, and all that. So we can follow this. And coming to the 8th question, so what is difference between merge and rebase? So this was basically it was a question from Git. So merge is nothing but combines branches, it retains commit history. But what is rebase? Moves or combines a sequence of commits, replace commits on top of another base step. I think you understood about this. Okay, so what is the difference between fetch and pull? So fetch is nothing but downloads the changes from remote but does not integrate them. That means if you are in a current repository and use git fetch, that means it fetches all the changes from the remote but doesn't reflect in your current working directory. But pull, in contrast, what it does is it also reflects changes in your current working directory and your current branch. Why use Linux over Windows and Mac OS? So this was also a basic question which will be asked in your interview. So why? So because Linux is an open source, so you can prepare your own operating system, like you can customize however you want. So better performance and stability for servers. Why? Because the Linux size is too small when it is compared to the Windows OS and Mac OS, which we can run on server with a less memory and with less RAM. And strong command line tools and development environment, because however you modify it works. And security and access control, like Linux is the most secure one when compared to Windows. Like Mac OS is also a secure one when it compares to Windows and Linux, but moreover Mac OS is a closed system, like it's not an open source system to use in your servers and all that. So let us continue to the round 3. Into the round 3, I already told you that it was a type of HR technical and your how you solve a specific problem. So like the first question was, what do you know about the role? So read the job description carefully, but at that time I haven't read my job description at all. So like they'll ask some questions on your job description, but it was not a mandatory answer. So they will understand you what is the role about, like what you will be doing if you are onboarded onto the team and all that. And the second question was find the different weight ball. So this is the basic question which when you Google some of the aptitude questions, you'll get this question. So 8 balls, 1 different weight, find it the minimum tries using a weight balance. So the solution is use a divide and conquer strategy, minimum tries required are 2. That's it. And this is another aptitude question. I'll attach this in the description. So tell me something about D.E.Shaw. So like this is a mandatory question everywhere. Like whatever company you interview, they'll ask this question. Like if you go at Google, what do you know about Google? If you work in D.E.Shaw, what do you know about D.E.Shaw? So like it's a basic question. So make sure to read the website properly before going to the interview. So what is their history, what is their mission, what are the products, what are this culture. So basically D.E.Shaw is not a product based company, it was a Fintech. So make sure to learn differences between those two. And so you go through each round. So at the end of each round they'll ask that what are the are there any questions for us. So like basically you ask this type of questions, like it should make the interviewer that you are interested in joining D.E.Shaw. So like ask this type of questions like how is the work-life balance at D.E.Shaw? What technologies will I be working on if I join the company? Are there any annual parties or events at D.E.Shaw? So what feedback do you have for me? Can I expect a positive result from your side? what can be my work location if I get selected. So these type of questions will make feel that interviewer that you are interested in joining D.E.Shaw. So make sure to ask these type of questions, not the same questions, but make your own and ask them. So like, all the best for your interview then. So right, bye.